Okay, this is Marty Coleman with Parker Coleman, and it is Sunday, April 10th. Parker's going to go over the games from yesterday, Saturday, April 9th, 2022. Parker, go for it.
So back here, we got some interesting results for the first Saturday of the season. We start with the Orioles and the Rays. The bottom of the second, Brandon Loud triples to start. Mejia singles him in to make it 1-0 Rays. A base loaded situation after Kiermaier doubles and Taylor Walls walks. Brett Phillips is able to ground out and score another, and then Wander Franco hits a sac fly, making it 3-0. In the top of the third, the O's scored two as Jorge Mateo walks, steals second, and then Mountcastle, one of the better young guys for the Orioles, hits a two-run home run, making it a 3-2 game. I got a new system since there's a Low and a Lau on the Rays. Josh Lowe and Brandon Lau. Every time it's Josh Lowe, I'm gonna have an arrow pointing down, like Low, and then Lau, I'm gonna keep his blank. In the bottom of the third, Lowe singles. Later, Mejia homers to put the Rays up 5-2. In the top of the ninth, the Orioles try to rally as Urias doubles, and then Mateo doubles, scoring Urias. The O's can't score again and lose their 14th straight game to Tampa Bay. Mejia was the first start again. 2 for 4, 3 RBIs and a home run. Ryan Mountcastle was 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a home run. And then I had to give the third starter. I had to find somebody because the Rays starter didn't go very long, and the O's starter wasn't very good, Jordan Lyles. So I chose Keegan Aiken. He threw 3 really good innings out of the bullpen, only giving up 1 hit and striking out 3. 3 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for the Orioles. 5 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Tampa Bay Rays. A game of similar score, the White Sox and the Tigers. Entering this game, Cease was 8-0 record-wise against the Tigers, 9-0, or 10-0, I should say, against them. The White Sox were 10-0 against the Tigers when Cease starts against them. The Sox score early as it's Jimenez with an RBI single in the first inning again after Luis Robert singles and Jose Abreu doubles. It's 2-0 Sox. Cease goes 5 innings, 1-run ball. Abreu singles, and then Grandal homers, making it 4-0 White Sox. And in the top of the 6th, Meadows singles, and then Cease is removed. Baez singles, and then the first run for the Tigers comes off of a Jeimer Candelario double. Candelario will be able to come home on a Larry Garcia error later in the inning. In the top of the 7th, Josh Harrison doubles. Vaughn makes it 5-2. In the bottom of the 9th, both Cabrera and Scope would single. Haas would have another chance to tie it, but this time he struck out. And the White Sox struck out 2 more Tigers in a row after that, and they would lose, and the White Sox would win 5-2. Cease was the first start, as he usually is against the Tigers. 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 8 strikeouts. Grandal is 1 for 4, 2 RBIs, a home run. Jimenez is 1 for 4, 2 RBIs, 5 runs, 10 hits, 1 error for the White Sox. 2 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Tigers. The Mariners, they look like they're the 1-run game winners, and I don't want to speak too soon, but they might be losing in blowouts. They look just like they did last year, despite the improvements, because they're losing 5-0 in the first inning of the Twins right now, as we record this. But the Twins started off well. Arias hit a home run to make it 1-0. In the top of the third, after a kind of weird double play where they got the out at third and first instead of second and first, a double by Ty France would score Crawford to tie the game at 1. On the top of the 5th, Tom Murphy would homer to give the Mariners a 2-1 lead. Brian Buxton had a very, very impressive home run after Nick Gordon walked. It was 101 miles an hour, near like chest level. It wasn't a hanging. It was going up, and he hit it out, give the Twins 3-2 lead. Now, the Twins, this is where I criticize the Taylor Rogers for Chris Paddock trade, especially since Paddock hasn't been a lot since his rookie year. The Twins, I don't think they need more starting pitching. They got Bundy, they got Gray. Joe Ryan's probably going to be good. I don't know why they go after Chris Paddock when they need more bullpen guys. Taylor Rogers is a pretty solid bullpen guy, and they gave him to the Padres for Chris Paddock. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense in my opinion. Who knows? Maybe there's another reason. But the Mariners had another heroic moment in the top of the ninth. Rodriguez will get his first career hit, a double. If you go on Instagram, MLB Instagram, you would think that he's going to win MVP, Rookie of the Year, and somehow he probably would win Cy Young according to them, even though he doesn't pitch. But J. Roddy's going to be good. But I think his rookie year this year, I don't want to say it's overhyped, but the way they're talking about him, you would think that like Hank Aaron just came up from the minors, and everyone already knew he was going to be Hank Aaron, basically. Frazier would double to tie the game, a new acquisition working out well for the Mariners. And to take the lead off of Ty France again. Ty France was one of the two guys, along with Mitch Haniger, who hit very well last year. That was a frustrating part for most teams and most AL West fan base, like the A's and the Astros, is that the Mariners had like two guys who are very solid at the plate. Their pitching, was the reason why they won so many close games. Their bullpen, and teams like the Astros, who had such a good offense, being beat by the Mariners, who didn't really have a good offense. The good offenses were just quieted by the pitching. The Mariners would win 4-3, and we also see why the win stat isn't very good. Because the guy who gave up the home run to Byron Buxton, Andres Munoz, got the win, even though he was in line to get the loss. The only way he could have gotten the win is if the Mariners rallied in the top of the ninth, and that's what happened. But still shows that the wins, they're not a really good stat. Ty France was 3 for 5, double, 2 RBIs. Of course, he'd be the first star. Not only did he get the game-winning RBI in the top of the ninth, but he also had a really solid day at the plate. Tom Murphy went his 2 for 3 home run, walk, and an RBI. Logan Gilbert went 5 innings, 3 hits, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk. 4 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Mariners. 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 error for the Twins. Pirates Cardinals. Brian Hayes is back, and it was just a hand cramp. He's back. He was back in the lineup today. Didn't miss a game. Oliver Marmol, he is sick. Second game of the year, and he's out. Skip Schumacher is taking over for him for the time being. 3 straight hits for the Pirates in the top of the first by Vogelbach, Reynolds, and Hayes. Satsugo would hit a sac fly, making it 1-0. Arenado would double, and Carlson would single to tie the game at the bottom of the first. In the top of the third, the Pirates would retake the lead after Hayes doubles, Satsugo singles. It's 2-1, but the Cardinals were able to score more in the bottom of the third, as Goldschmidt would single and score on an Arenado single after being moved over on a groundout. Then Paul DeJong would homer, making it 4-2 Cards. After an Arenado double, Dickerson would single, making it a 5-2 game. Goldschmidt would walk in the bottom of the sixth, and Arenado would double again, scoring Goldschmidt in a 6-2 Cardinals win. Arenado had a really, really good game, 4 for 4 with 3 doubles, 3 RBIs. DeJong was 1 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a home run. Satsugo had a pretty solid day, 2 for 4, 2 RBIs and a sac fly. 2 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Pirates. 6 runs, 10 hits, no errors for the Cardinals. A bit of a chippy blowout game here in Chicago, as the Brewers are now 0-2, and it's more surprising because Brandon Woodruff looked horrible yesterday. Ortega would walk in the first, Madrigal would be hit, and then Contreras would walk. So that's not really a way that a Brewers pitching staff would start off the game. Walk, hit by pitch, walk. Happ would walk again to score the first run. Schwindel would reach on a fielder's choice, scoring another. And then Suzuki would make it a sac fly, making it 3-0. Seiya Suzuki had another very, very good game yesterday. Happ and Schwindel would both single, and then Suzuki would single in the bottom of the third to make it 4-0. And then after Ortega doubles, Contreras is hit, Happ singles, scoring Ortega. Happ and Suzuki both walk. And lastly, Happ scores on a wild pitch. Finally, Woodruff would be taken out of the game. It was not a pretty game for Brandon Woodruff yesterday. Contreras and Schwindel both singled in the bottom of the sixth. Hayward walks, and with the bases loaded, Wisdom singles to make it 9-0. In the bottom of the eighth, we had our second bench clearing in 2 days. As after McCutchen is hit, the Cubs and Brewers, both benches come off. Since 2020, the Brewers have been hit by the Cubs the most. That's the most of any team versus any opponent. So there's a bit of a history there. The Cubs would win a chippy, intense 9-0 game. That sounds like a weird sentence. Suzuki went 1 for 3 with 3 RBIs, sac fly, walk. He was the first star. Happ was 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs, a walk. He was the second star. And then Justin Steele was pretty solid on the mound. 5 innings, 4 hits, 5 strikeouts, and a walk. Another come from behind win for the Blue Jays. This time it was only a 1-run deficit, but it was still a come from behind win. 3 straight singles by Springer, Bichette, and Guerrero make it 1-0 in the bottom of the first. And then Gurriel would reach on a fielder's choice, making it 2-0 Blue Jays. In the top of the third, Heim and Miller both single, and then Simeon doubles, scoring Heim. Seager would tie the game on an RBI ground out, and then lastly, an RBI single by Nathaniel Lowe would give the Rangers the 3-2 lead. So we can see that the Rangers early, their pitching struggles, but they do have those innings where the offense can really, really break out. It is the second game, of course, for them, but you can still see kind of what we expected from them. And who knows, maybe their pitching is better over the season, but they're still probably not going to be good at least until next year.
Well, their infield, they paid $500 million for. I would hope they'd be improved.
Yes, you can tell that their offense is better, I will say. You can tell that their pitching still needs a lot of work. As in the bottom of the fifth, Bo Bichette would go like 425 solo shot to tie the game at 3. And the bottom of the sixth, the Jays would retake the lead and keep it as Kirk singles. He's replaced by Tapia on a fielder's choice. And then Espinal would double to make it 4-3 Blue Jays, and it would stay 4-3 Blue Jays for the rest of the game as they'd win 4-3. Bichette went 2-4 with an RBI home run, big game-tying home run. Espinal went 1 for 2 with a double. Guerrero was again 2 for 4 with an RBI. 3 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Rangers. 4 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for the Blue Jays. We have a few pages left. Red Sox Yankees. Another low-scoring game here. Well, the Red Sox Yankees was kind of low-scoring until extra innings. It was 4-4 going into extra innings the first game. This game, the final score was 4-2, and the Yankees were in favor. The Red Sox scored first again, though, as Martinez would single and Verdugo would homer, making it 2-0. In the bottom of the fourth, after Donaldson singles, Rizzo hits a home run, another one to tie the game. In the bottom of the sixth, a familiar sight as Judge walks and Stan hits a home run for a 6th straight game against the Red Sox. That goes all the way back to September of last year when the Yanks were making that playoff push and they beat the Red Sox, I think 3 straight times in Fenway, and Stan was hitting the ball all over the park. An error by Kiner Falefa put the tying run at home plate, but the Sox couldn't score, lose 4-2. Every single run came from a 2-run home run, which is kind of weird. Stanton was 1 for 3 with a home run, 2 RBIs. He was the first star. Rizzo was 1 for 4 with a home run, 2 RBIs. He was the second star. Verdugo was 2 for 3 with a home run, 2 RBIs, and a walk. He was the third star. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Red Sox. 4 runs, 4 hits, 1 error for the Yankees. Athletics Phillies. This is another low-scoring game. There were a lot of low-scoring pitchers duels, I would say, yesterday, and that really helped me because I was really behind on these. And since there are a lot of low-scoring games, especially later in the night, I didn't have as much to write down as if there were multiple games that were like 10-7 or so. So it really did help me. I got to bang the last 5 games out, and I'm actually recording earlier than I usually do. Athletics Phillies. In the bottom of the first, Nick Castellanos hits a 2-run home run after Harper was hit by a pitch. The Phillies take an early 2-0 lead. The Phillies would hit back-to-back home runs in the bottom of the sixth, as Hoskins and Segura would both hit them to double the lead. In the top of the eighth, the Athletics score their first run as Andrus doubles and Scotty drives him in on a single, making it 4-1. A's try a 9th inning rally as Kemp walks and scores on Lowry's single from his speed, but the Phillies are able to hold on and win 4-2. This was a very quick game as it was home run, and then home run, and then RBI hit in the 8th, RBI hit in the 9th. Nothing a whole lot to explain here. I think that the Phillies fans are more happy with this game because it was a more clean game. They still had a couple of runs given up by the bullpen, but that's going to happen. But they're probably happy because this game was clean, and yep, they got the win. Hoskins was 2 for 3 with a home run, a walk, and an RBI. He was the first star. Segura was 2 for 4 with a home run and an RBI. He was the second star. Lowry got the third star as he was 2 for 4 with an RBI. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the A's. 4 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for the Phillies. Now we have a couple of low-scoring games that I could probably get done talking talking about in 5 minutes if I don't just blabber on about this. A rare occurrence is after birdie singles. This is Marlins Giants, by the way. I probably should have said that to start. After birdie singles, Soler strikes out, but the ball gets away, and birdie scores on a strikeout. That was a really big strikeout by Jorge Soler because that would be the difference in this game, as Duggar would double after Estrada singles to tie the game for the Giants. And the top of the seventh, the Marlins retake the lead as Anderson doubles and is brought in by a Jesus Sanchez single to score him. In the bottom of the seventh, 2 runners were put on by the Giants, but they couldn't score. And then in the bottom of the ninth, the winning run was at home, but they couldn't score. But they couldn't score either. Giants missed out on a couple opportunities here and lose 2-1 to the Marlins. Like I said, that strikeout was the difference. Rodon was very good. 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 12 strikeouts for his debut in Giants Orange. Paulo Lopez went 5 innings, gave up 3 hits, 1 run, 6 strikeouts, and a walk. Sanchez is 1 for 4 with an RBI. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Marlins. 1 run, 5 hits, 2 errors for the Giants. This was a low-scoring game. I don't have much to talk about here as Guardians Royals. And another team that we're seeing a lot of stuff that we expect out of them are the Cleveland Guardians. Their offense has been horrible. 1 run in 2 games. Now, as I'm recording, they did score 6 runs in the top of the first against the Royals today. So there's some offense there, but the Guardians' offense did look very much like we expected it in the first 2 games of the year.
And 4 in the second. 10-0.
Wow. I'm going to have fun reviewing that tomorrow. Keller and Plesac had a pretty good pitcher's duel as Keller goes 6 innings, Plesac goes 5 2/3. 2 hits, 5 strikeouts, and a walk for Keller. Plesac had 3 hits and 3 strikeouts. Benintendi had 3 of the 6 hits for the Royals. That was pretty interesting. The game would be tied 0-0 after 9. I didn't really have a whole lot to write about because there are no real big rallies or scoring opportunities. In the top of the 10th, after Ernie Clement singles, the Guardians have put the Royals on the ropes. However, Bobby Wood Jr. fields the ball cleanly and throws it home to get the runner coming home out and keep it a scoreless tie going into the bottom of the 10th, where Adalberto Mondesi walks it off. The Royals win 1-0. Great throw by Witt to save, well, maybe not save the game, but it is big that run didn't score. And Mondesi gets the only RBI of the game. He was the first star, and then I already talked about Keller and Plesac. Keller was the second. Plesac was the third. No runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Guardians. 1 run, 6 hits, no errors for the Royals. Mets Nationals. I'm telling you, there are a lot of low-scoring games. Bassett made his debut on the Mets. He went 6 innings, he had 3 hits, 8 strikeouts, a walk. Spoiler alert: he was the first star. In the top of the 5th, McCann would single. Nimmo and Lindor would walk. The Mets would take a 4-0 lead off of Pete Alonso's grand slam. It was the first grand slam of the 2022 season for any team. In the top of the 9th, the Mets would score another run after Nimmo doubles, and then after he's moved over on a ground out, he would score on a wild pitch. That would be it. The Mets would win 5-0 off those 2 innings. And like I said, a low-scoring game. Bassett, like I said, was the first star. Alonso was the second star because that was literally the big difference maker. Even though he went 1 for 5 and had 3 strikeouts, that grand slam was very, very big. And then Nimmo was 2 for 4 with a double and a walk. 5 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for the Mets. No runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Nationals. Nationals don't look very good to start off the season. And again, it's only 3 games, but we could kind of see what we were expecting. We were expecting the Nationals to be the worst team in the NL East. And I would say that they performed as the worst team in the NL East because the Braves have won 2 games, 2 really shaky games, but they've won 2. The Mets have won 3 in a row. The Marlins, even though they're 1-1, have pitched very well in both of those games. And the Phillies are 2-0. So yeah, the Nats, they're looking like the front runner as worst team in the NL East. Speaking of the shaky Braves, the Braves also almost blew another lead today. This time it was the Braves almost blew another lead yesterday. This time it was only a 2-run lead, but it was still a lead. The Braves scored 2 in the first inning early on as Olsen and Riley single. Ozuna would get 1 in off of a double. Albies would hit a sac fly, making it 2-0. Kyle Wright went 6 scoreless innings, and the Braves bullpen was solid up until the 9th. Will Smith comes in and gets 2 quick outs, and then looks like Will Smith from June of last year. Tommy Pham would walk a Joey Votto single, would make it 2-1. However, the Reds can't tie it, and instead of two seemingly easy wins. The Braves make their fans sweat. The Braves do get the win, and that's all that matters. It's a 2-1 victory. Braves can go for the series win tomorrow, or today as I speak. Kyle Wright went 6 innings. He got 2 hits, 6 strikeouts, and a walk. He was the first star. 3 for 4 with 2 doubles and an RBI. Ozuna was the second star. And then Olsen was 2 for 3 with a walk. He was the third star. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors for the Reds. 2 runs, 8 hits, 1 error for the Braves. 3 more games. It's really easy to go through these games when they're just like 3-2 or 1-0. This is probably what it felt like in like May of last year to go over all the games when the spider attack was still going on. Dodgers-Rockies. The Rockies score early again, as with back-to-back singles by Bryant and Rogers. McMahon would drive Bryant in on a single, so 3 hits, and would lead for the Rockies. Austin Barnes tied the game at the top of the third, so he did a solo shot, making it 1-1. Crow single, then after being moved over, a Connor Joe single would score Crow. Remember Connor Joe? I'm going to mention him in about 15 seconds. 3 straight singles from Lux, Barnes, and Betts would tie the game at 2. And then the Rockies would take a 3-2 lead in the top of the 8th as Connor Joe would hit a solo shot for the lead. The Rockies struck out 3 in the bottom of the 9th, or in the top of the 9th, and would win 3-2. Connor Joe was the first star with 2 for 4, 2 RBIs, a home run. Herman Marquez with 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 5 strikeouts. Austin Barnes was 2 for 3 with a home run and an RBI. Rockies won 3-2, 2 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Dodgers, 3 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Rockies. Padres Diamondbacks. Breaking news: the Diamondbacks get a hit earlier than the 7th inning. It was Ketel Marte who singled in the bottom of the first, and then Peralta would drive him in on a double, making it 1-0 Arizona. The Padres would take the lead in the top of the third as Grisham would walk, Machado would double to tie it, and then Cronenworth would single to score Machado, giving them the 2-1 lead. In the bottom of the 5th, Peralta would homer. It would be a solo shot, tying the game at 2. In the top of the 8th, Machado would single, and Voit would walk. A Hosmer single put the Padres on top 3-2, and then Noah sac fly would make it 4-2. C.J. Abrams would get his first career major league hit in the top of the 9th, and then Jorge Azocar would get his first career hit, driving him in. So 2 straight first career hits for the Padres, and they scored a run, making it 5-2. That would be the final score. Padres would beat the Diamondbacks 5-2. Musgrove won 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, 2 runs. I think that's 8 strikeouts. My handwriting was so horrible because I was trying to get this done before we started filming. I had a bit of a deadline. Hosmer was 2 4 and RBI. He had the winning RBI. Peralta was 2 4, 2 RBIs, a home run. He had a pretty good offensive night. I'm not going to be able to say that about very many Diamondbacks this year. 5 runs, 10 hits, no errors for the Padres. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Diamondbacks. Last game, this game is going to go pretty quick as well. However, it is worth talking that Verlander and Syndergaard are both back, and they both looked really good yesterday. Syndergaard went 5 in the third, gave up 2 hits. I think he only struck out 2, but he still had a very, very good outing. Verlander went 5 innings, gave up 3 hits, a run, struck out 7, but also walked 3. The Astros offense was nowhere to be seen yesterday. In the bottom of the first, McCormick made a great play, potentially robbing Trout of a home run. A very, very athletic play by McCormick. That would be the only highlight for the Astros of the night. Or McCormick almost hurting himself sliding into first base. That would be one of the 2 hits that the Astros got. In the bottom of the second, Walsh would hit a solo home run for the 1-0 lead. The Angels would never relinquish it. Like I said, Syndergaard and Verlander both went 5 solid innings. In the bottom of the 8th, Trout would get his revenge on McCormick, I guess. I mean, he didn't really do him wrong, but he hit one that McCormick had no chance of catching unless he was like 25 feet tall or so. Trout would get his first home run of the season, and that would be it. The Angels would beat the Astros 2-0 and win their first game on the season. Astros have a chance to win tomorrow, or today, I should say. And the Angels have a chance to split. That'd be big for them. Like I said, Syndergaard was the first star. I already talked about his stats. Verlander was the second star. I already talked about his stats. Walsh was the third star. He was 2 4, the home run and RBI. Those were all the games. That was really quick because I was surprised when I saw that they were all low scoring. I mean, hopefully my job is this easy again today.
All right. That was the games from April the 9th for Parker Coleman, MLB Review. Thanks for listening and tuning in, and hopefully we'll see you again tomorrow.